I'm Kasia.
And I'm Krista.
And we are confidence coaches for
kids.
Hey guys, confidence coaches for kids. I'm Kasia.
And I'm Krista.
And we are back with our second installment of how to have hard, honest communication.
Yeah, not easy. Not easy. We were talking about having that uncomfortable pit in your stomach, right? So let's get started.
Right. So like we said last week, we had been totally inspired by a recent sermon at our church about hard conversations. And the truth is that we are going to experience things all the time in life where we're going to have hard conversations and sometimes tell people some hard things.
Yep. So the first thing we want you to consider is to avoid your cell phone. Avoid your cell phone. You do not want to start with texting. To be able to see facial expressions, body language, and hear tones, that really makes a conversation. And you can't hear or see any of that in a text message.
Right. You can't even, I know most people don't really pick up the phone and call anymore, but honestly, you can't do that just talking on the phone either. And so like 99% of the time, if you're going to truly have a hard conversation that you know is going to be hard on the other person, you do that face to face, no matter how uncomfortable you are with it. You just owe it to the relationship to talk face to face.
Yeah, and it'll feel weird. It'll feel unsettling, but it'll be worth it in the end. So avoid the phone ring-a-dingy.
The real phone.
Or the texting.
Yes.
But go ahead and like our videos with the thumbs.
2 thumbs up, yeah.
Okay. And the next piece.
So another thing that we talked about earlier was just the importance of making sure that, well, there's a couple things. One of the very important one is to really be scanning yourself for what kind of emotional state you're in.
Yeah.
Because you do not want to have one of these conversations where you're emotionally charged, where it's like anger or sadness or betrayal or any of that. That's not the time to have a conversation because it's just going to go downhill. So you want to make sure that you can give yourself space from the situation to step back and reflect and make sure emotionally you're ready to engage in a conversation. Because again, if your relationship's worth it, you want to make sure it's a good one.
Absolutely. And there may be some emotions when you are sharing and talking.
For sure.
There will be a few tears or frowny faces. And those are all normal, right? Those are normal and those are part of a conversation.
Right.
So conversation. Be open to dialogue and conversation, not just talk. Because while you have something on your mind and heart that you're feeling the need to share with somebody that you care about to continue this relationship with, you have to be willing to hear their perspective back, right? And that's not always easy either. But you need to have an open mind and heart.
Right. So I think what you're kind of saying too is instead of just getting everything off of your chest and talking at the person, you have to be willing to make sure that you can try to gain something from their perspective because most situations are totally not just one-sided. Right.
They're not. And we want to remind you, this kind of goes with it. You want to seek to understand before being understood. Right. So you do want to be clear in the delivery of your feelings and thoughts and perspective, but you have to have open ears to try and understand what is being told back to you.
So I hope you're willing to share this, but like you had an experience like this today. Krista was a part of a really hard, honest conversation with a friend, but you were on more of the receiving.
Yeah, which I love the opportunity to share this because here we are telling you how to handle a hard conversation, but there's also advice to be given on how to handle a hard conversation when it comes to you, right? So, so this person had thought about what they wanted to say and they worked hard with their words and their delivery, and I appreciate that. When you're the one receiving it, you don't have time to process that because you don't know it's going to happen always. Right.
So,
I was a little surprised and caught off guard, but I really appreciated the time that they took to develop their
thoughts.
Thank you. Yeah. Their thoughts. And I was able to sit there and listen and understand what they were trying to communicate with me and put myself in their shoes and how they were feeling in a situation. And that was it was good for me to hear that side of it. And it made me think differently. And so I appreciated it. And fortunately, it worked out really well. And I, the relationship is still strong and positive, and I was okay being on the receiving end.
I think part of that is because this friend, she really followed a lot of the tips and strategies that we give you. She was able to make sure she wasn't emotional. She was able to explain her perspective, make sure it was face to face, know. And so as the receiver, you took that in a positive way.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, the most important part is the relationship is intact. So we just hope that we have given you some strategies because, like I said, it's going to happen, right?
It is. And a lot of people have good intentions and sometimes it just doesn't come out right. So it's important to give people grace too and try to understand.
So important. Okay, guys. Well, thank you. We hope you have a great week. We hope that you go into those hard conversations with a little bit of confidence and you take a breath and you remember some of these tips.
Yep, we believe in you. So go do it.
Bye, guys.